I say, how are you doing today? How are you doing today? Y'all already know I am your host, Lacey G. Soldier Turner. And today I got a very special guest with me. Very special. She is an international award-winning writer, director, producer. She has been awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award from Barack Obama. Who else can say that? From her work. She is a top female action director and trained in the United Kingdom at the BBC and ITV. She's been doing a whole lot of great film work, martial artist work, and everything. So I'm excited to interview this person. So without further ado, we have the wonderful, amazing, talented Susan Thomas, also known as Suza. Welcome to the platform.
Thank you so much. Honestly, that is the best intro I've ever heard. Thank you. I'm going to
You
keep
are.
that.
Keep that. So I'm gonna let the people get to know you a little bit. So can you let the people know where were you born and raised, and how was your upbringing as a child?
Sure. So basically, I um, grew up in the northwest of England, which is where I am now. I grew up here. I was like the only black kid in the entire like village. So it was kind of like growing up um, the black sheep of the family. Literally, literally, no, metaphorically and literally. So yeah, so it was really interesting. So the insights of kind of what I've taken from like my childhood and my upbringing and stuff like that, and I try to incorporate some of those energies into my work. Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
let me ask you this: what made you want to get into the film industry? Period.
Well, from a young age, I had a distinct love for martial arts and a distinct love for music. I remember like watching my first black film, which was like Porgy and Bess, which was jazz, which is my favorite genre, jazz and soul. And I remember seeing that, and it was like the first time I'd seen brown people on the TV. So that's no, literally that was it. So see the martial artists and just in utter admiration for the martial arts and their skill sets. And then, obviously I fell in love with jazz and just the obviously American side, not so much as the British side of it, but you've got the American and then you've got, Asian side of that with the martial arts and just having a love and a passion for that. And that's when I was just kind of hypnotized by, the music, the action, and I loved it. And I think I'm, diehard action martial arts fan. So what can I say?
Okay. Do you got any favorite like martial artists like Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, anybody?
Well, I have loads of them, and if I mention any names, somebody's going to be calling me saying, "What's up?" So I'm kind of like,
You gonna leave me out, huh? You
oh,
gonna leave
yeah, exactly. So, but I'd say I can honestly say that I haven't worked with a lot of the martial artists, but I have worked with quite a few, and my admiration is just for so many of them, and they all have different styles and different approaches to their work. So as I said, obviously from Bruce Lee, all the way up to Iko Uwais right now, who's quite big, Scott Atkins, all of those guys, Sunny Singh, all of those are brilliant in their own right, and I think everybody brings something different, to the production and to the project.
Okay. Can you tell the people about Infraction Media? I saw that
Sure.
y'all produce good action and martial arts movies. And one thing I think I like when I was reading about it is that y'all even, train, I guess, the upcoming actors who are in the film. So can you tell the people about that?
Yeah, so Infraction Media is the Canadian side of the production, and then we also have Filmed Hit, which I'm filming in the Filmed Hit Studio 520 right now in the UK. So it's kind of like we're Canada, UK side of things. But Infraction Media, yeah, we've kind of worked a lot. Adam Sandler does the same. He has a little group of people he kind of works with, and he kind of gets to know these actors, and we kind of work from there. That's kind of how I really like to work in Canada. In the UK, a little bit different. Don't really have as big a network here in the UK, but again, we do have a smaller group that I do like to work with. And again, my admiration is for martial artists, so I love to work with martial artists. So for me, as a director, I've kind of tuned myself to be able to take a martial artist and then help them with the acting side of it. and I've used to act myself. So I think being on the other side of the camera many years ago, and the director's just like cut,
Yeah.
and do it again, and that not really getting any feedback as into how you want me to do it again or what you want to do again. So for me, I feel my forte is being able to really work with actors very well, because I admire them, and I think if you admire actors, you have a different stance towards them. Like, no, it's wrong. Do it again. But like today, I was on set at Coronation Street. I don't know if you know Coronation Street. It's kind of the longest running show in the world,
Mm.
and it's kind of syndicated all the way around the world. And working with the actors there, as I said, they're non-martial artists, so it's a different discipline. But they do tend to bring me in if I'm working with actors who have never done any action before.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, can you elaborate a little more on Film Hit? What is that about? And I saw that you created that also.
Sure. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, Filmed Hit is the UK production company. So we're BAFTA Connect. We're packed. We've got all the associations that we're connected with. This studio, we're filming from the studio right now, and we're in phase one of a project that we will be announcing officially. I'm sorry, we have to wait till next Thursday to announce it. But we have a venue and an event in London where this project will be highlighted and spotlighted as to where we're going, and it's kind of exciting for us. So I said this is stage one. We're looking to stage 2 and 3. We're also looking to we've been pitching to some broadcasters. So the difference with the Canadian side and the difference with the UK side of it is, here we're looking to broadcasters as in like Channel 4, ITV, BBC, and we're kind of looking to work directly with the broadcasters. In Fraction Media, it was more of just really independent film that we've kind of been kind of concentrated on. So that's a little bit of difference about the difference of the studios. So, but we're hoping, eventually, that we can be bobbing in between, in the two, inside of the two countries.
Gotcha. So, I write and direct films also. So, can you tell the people, I guess the difference, and which one do you like more between writing, directing, and producing?
Okay, so this is how it works for me. I'm a director. I write so I can direct. I produce in necessity so I can direct. so everything, all of those things, all are really geared up to just the directing of it. And I love directing. It's kind of one of those. It's just a discipline that I've always loved, and not always loved, because I haven't always done it, but I've always admired. And when I left school, I really wanted to go to London, because I'm up in the north, just outside Manchester here. Wanted to go to London Film School. That was like a dream when I was in drama, and it was like, no, you need to get a real job, right? So I think everybody's heard it, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So good supportive parents who tell you to get a real job, which I understand. It is, and obviously after COVID, after the writers' strike, after the industry right now, and it's in a way good sound advice, because we've just been talking about a lot of directors, a lot of actors. It's been quite slim on the ground for the last couple of years in the UK, and it's quite disturbing to a lot of us. But we're just pivoting in some which way. But yeah, so that's all. Everything I do is so I can direct. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So let me ask you this: what type of director would you say you're? Because we got them directors. Are you a director who let people like improv off the script, or are you strictly on script, or are you a person that's like hardcore, or you let your actors like mingle a little bit? What type of director are you?
Okay, I would say the first thing, I'll always have a script. But if the actor is like, you know what, I think this line would be better, I'm like, cool. Because I'm not a director who's like, no, I'm not precious. I'm not precious about the script. Sometimes there's certain beats have to be in the script that if they're not said, the rest of the movie is not going to make sense. So and one of the things that I would say that I'm a director is that I don't hand out the entirety of the script to the actors. They just get what they need,
Okay. The
and
side.
all they have to concentrate is on this. So in a way, I'm making my job harder, but I prefer it where I say, when we go in rehearsals, this is the energy and this is where you're going to be at. They do not know until we're premiering it with the cast and crew, and sometimes what the entirety of the movie is about, which is, to me, it's a nice surprise for them too. Hopefully it's a nice surprise.
Like, oh wow.
Yeah, so, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Gotcha. So I saw that you also co-produced Made in Chinatown. Can you tell the people about that and how was that?
Yes. That was cool. I was at an event. I think it was Urban Action. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a big action festival in New York, and we was there, and I was introduced to a writer, and he'd been trying to get it made for like 10 years. And I said, well, I can't promise anything. I'll read the first 10 pages. I started reading the first 10 pages. I just finished it. I'm like, this is really funny. I love it. It's really funny. It was originally shooting in Canada, and I was supposed to direct it. If it would have been shot in Canada, and then there was a decision that it would actually be shot in the States, which kind of makes sense. Billy Pastore, obviously all the cast was over there, so that worked out. But I did, still, I was co-producer, and our teaser that we'd done before, our trailer for Replicant, that was something that we'd done before, was used as in, okay, this is the director, this is what she's done before. And so, that was good to feel that, as our work is, being seen. Yeah, but it was, just as a co-producer, it was great. As I said, producing, I've done more producing than directing. However, directing is my love. It's my passion, for sure.
Hey, I feel the same way. I love that. So I feel.
Yeah.
So tell me about your feature film, Honorable Sins, because I saw that it was awarded like over 20 awards and nominations.
Yeah, it was. I'll tell you the real. Do you want to know the real deal about
Yes.
Honorable Sins? Okay, I'll tell you the real deal.
Give me the exclusive.
Exclusive. Okay, well, so I will tell you this exclusive. I'll tell you this little part of Honorable Sins, which was very much part of the thing of how it unrolled. But basically, I was scrolling, and I found a story about a gentleman who received 23 years in prison he was known as the Alaskan Avenger, and he was abused as a child, and he found himself going to the sex register, and he would go rob some of these people. I don't want to say too much in case I say it wrong, but he was convicted, and it was like extraordinarily long sentence. As I said, he really had a lot of struggles and issues. What set Honorable Sins in motion was I read the comments. I was reading comments. This guy is a hero. This guy is brilliant. This guy needs to be set free. And then the other ones are, oh, this guy is a monster. This guy. And I thought, how can one action have so many different, diametrically opposed reactions? And I said, well, is he a hero or is he a villain? And it really posed that question. And just thinking about the reaction, Honorable Sins was born. I sat down and I wrote it like a week and a half. It took me 3 other months to actually perfect it. But the storyline just came, because it's basically, and I thought, well, initially I didn't know if I should tell people, like, should I say it was this in case, I don't want to get sued. Oh, your movie's rubbish. Don't mention my name. So, yeah, exactly. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to tell anybody. But then, funnily enough, on the internet, this lady popped up. This is my relative.
Wow.
And I was like, should I tell her? Should I? And, filmmakers were always kind of like, oh, I'm not sure. Anyway, I messaged, I said, I don't, want you to take this the wrong way, but, your relative really inspired this movie for me. And I really, I put it to a female instead of male because I really wanted to try to remove it. And I didn't know whether it's okay to mention. She reached out to the gentleman and he said, yes, it's okay to mention
Okay.
If we're doing interviews, that his story was the story that inspired, Honorable Sins, and it said only because of him. And then, so we did the screening. It was in COVID, and then so we came out. You're gonna love this. You're gonna love it. So we came out. One of the secondary actors or the background actors came up and said, "I didn't like it." Said no, I didn't like it at all. I was like, yes, I didn't like it. I said, okay. And I said, okay. I'm not sure where I can go with this. Okay. I said, well, don't worry. We'll be moving on to our next production shortly. And then this other lady, she was there. And then she was in the cinema. She's part of the cinema. She said, why don't you put it into a film festival? I'm like, I don't think so. I'm like, I mean, everybody else loved it, but this one lady's like, I didn't like it. I didn't like it, darling. I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think so. She's like, no, why don't you just? And I was like, I said, I really don't think so. And then I thought, well, for my cast and crew, okay, so we put it on for one, and it got an award, and then said, oh God, we'll put it for another. We got another award. Then we put it in for another, and we just kept rolling. And I was like, I don't know. It's a strange one. It almost did not get the light of day. And then we got it on the Canadian Cineplex, Cineplex, because Cineworld is the UK, Cineplex in Canada. So, and then we were very fortunate to get it on Cineplex. So obviously that was good for us. But as I said, it was, it could have been, it could have not happened.
Exactly. If you would have listened to the I don't like it, did it?
I don't like it. Yes. Yeah. Don't ever listen to I don't like it. Because there's always going to be somebody who doesn't like it. And as I said, but the feedback, I didn't ask for feedback though. That's, I think, the difference. Sometimes I would say, put your hand up if you made a feature film before. Oh, no hands? Okay, well, I'm asking for feedback. But for filmmakers, I love talking to. I'm like, I was talking to the director today. We was just kind of having lunch, and I said, he was telling me about this one shot that he wants to do. I'm like, I'm going to steal your idea of your shot. I said, I'm telling you now. I'm being transparent. I'm going to steal that shot. He said, oh, go ahead. I'm like, cool. So I love getting, good. I'm always good for feedback. But I said, on this particular night, it was just, I didn't like it. And I was like, okay. Like, let me creep out the back way. But apart from that, it's all good.
Okay, so let me ask you about this. You mentioned this a little bit also. Can you tell the people? I saw that you were the founder of Studio 520. So can you tell the people about that?
Yeah. Well, Studio 520 is where we're at now, and we have got, this is phase one. We've got 2 and 3. We've got a big announcement next Thursday in London that we're going to do, and it's to do a little bit of it is to do with previs. What we're going to be doing in the studio, and what we're looking to create an environment that will be working with fight actors in this environment. But as I said, there's some obviously additional things that I don't want to kind of mention until next Thursday. Yeah, so this is the studio. I'm trying to think about what I can say about it. Yeah, I think that Studio 520, we're outside of Manchester, just outside of Manchester, and we're hoping to also be a hub for the Black Indies Group, which is Black independent production companies in the United Kingdom. We're regional. Everything happens in London, but because we're regional, we get overlooked quite a bit. So we want to make a little bit of a hub here for other production companies that want to kind of collaborate with us. I'm currently acting chair for the Black Indies Group, and we were down twice in London with Channel 4 last week, I think it was. Last week or the week before, 2 weeks ago.
Okay, that's great. That sounds like, I need an act. I'm right here,
Oh, it's absolutely. And when are you going to be in Manchester next?
Hey, listen, I can fly whenever. Just let me
know. There you go. We got you. I got you.
All right. So another thing I want to talk, other than your film work, I saw that you was an advocate for women and underrepresented groups. Can you talk about that? What made you want to be like?
Yeah, I think basically, again, growing up as the only black kid in a, in an environment, kind of, obviously I stood out and I was pointed out. I wouldn't say I stood out. I was pointed out more than standing out. And I felt that being, especially I'm in a niche area where there's not many women, especially not many black women. So I've always been an advocate, and just of other, especially of other women. I was a treasurer of women in film and television in Alberta, and I've been on panels for promoting women. I've been a mentor for women. I'm also a mentor over here for screen skills. So anything about the global majority. Anything like that, I'm an advocate for, and I always have been. I probably always will be. And again, find myself chair at the Black Indies group. So that's something that's really important to me, because there's things that took me years to learn because somebody just didn't say something. I wanted to be available to, if I've learned something, to be able to share that. And I don't know if we told you the story, but we were in the Banff World Media Festival. The company of distinction was ABC, which had the Emmy Award winner Regina King. At that particular time, I got a picture with her. I'm like, Regina, girlfriend. I was like, girl, well, let me tell you. And I was real. I was like, listen, I'm the only sister here in this entire thing. I'm literally the only sister here. I said, because it's so expensive, it's so cost prohibitive for so many people. And, I'm just fortunate to be here, but I was it. I was literally it. The following year, I said, something needs to be done. The following year, Netflix offered 100 free places to that film festival that is still running today for the global majority. So sometimes you gotta say what it is. I mean, that didn't, I felt a bit rude. Like, I wanted to say, oh my gosh, I love your work, which I do. I love your work, blah, 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 blah. But I was like, listen. I was like, down to business, down to business. But as I said, so how many people I think that's 5, 6, 7 years, 100 people, maybe 6, 7, 800 people, just from a conversation that you never know. It may go nowhere, but it might go somewhere.
Right.
So
that was very powerful. That's powerful, though.
Got to do what you got to do.
That's right. So let me ask you, you've been doing a lot of things on your journey. What would you say has been your greatest challenge?
Coming to terms with it's not a meritocracy. That's the biggest challenge. That it's not always about your talent. It's not always about what you've already done. It's not. I had a conversation within 1 week. Within this one space of 1 week, and somebody said to me, I've literally moved from being a background actor straight to being director. So it's sometimes not that, that person may have like 4 features under the belt. This person may have no features under the belt. They may get the shot. So I think for me is understanding and coming to terms with, you can't just say, okay, this is my resume, I've done this, because that is only half the conversation. I think the other half of the conversation is you've got to find out who are the people, the go-to people who can get you in the door, who are the people who you can network with. And it's really all about networking and trying to find those important people who can give you a shot, I would say. And as I said, coming to terms with it's, and I think one thing I would say is that understanding that it's not a meritocracy, I think it makes you strive and strive and strive. And in a way, you end up with this big resume. And, sometimes if you're not getting the shot that, you wanted to. I've missed loads of shots over here. I tell you, it's like I play basketball. And it's kind of like, I miss more shots than I make. But sometimes I just make the shot and that's the shot. And it's, reverse hook shot against a 6-foot player, right? So sometimes you got to miss a lot and you'll miss loads and loads and loads. But one day you'll get that reverse hook shot against a 6'2" basketball player and you'll just be like, yeah, what's up? So as I said, just, that's what, and just being able to continue being positive,
yes,
understanding the reality of life, and still being okay with it.
Mhm.
And the question I say, if you knew you was going to fail, would you still want to make a movie? And I'm like, yeah, I would
Mhm.
still do it. I would, because
Right.
I love it, because it's here.
Hold on, Susan. We ain't gonna skip over this basketball. You play basketball, Susan?
Of course I do. Yeah, I
Just
love
play.
basketball. I love, well, when I was younger, I was selected to train with the British team playing basketball. I loved it. I love basketball. We used to play with the guys. So I'm used to being kicked around the court, like literally like, get out of here.
Yeah, get out of
It's,
here.
exactly. It's like in your face, you know. Like,
Get out
so
of
you
here.
know, but at the time I was playing basketball, there was no basketball in school, and the Americans were just coming over, and everybody in the UK were, you know, recruiting, you know, the basketball players, and we were just like, you know, looking at these like six. We'd never really seen guys that big before in our entire lives. You know, we're just like, oh my god. So it was so fun. But yeah, it kind of really it toughened you up, and you had to learn that the game is not fair. Being 6'2" and a guy is obviously it's not fair play. You know, I can't do anything, you know, to play with this guy. But you learn how to do reverse hook shots,
Yeah,
and
there you
you
go.
have a wide angle, so that block missing it, right? So
Yeah.
that was my go-to. So
Yeah.
yeah, is again, it's a court, it's a fair game, but the players are going to be better than you, so you got to have to learn to play with better players, and it just all it does is improve your own game.
Facts, facts, facts. But I
You
want to
play
go.
ball? Do you play ball, Lacey?
Listen, listen. In high school, I did. You know, I don't do none of that. I watch it.
You should play. You should play.
Look. Whenever I see you, Susan, we gonna play. We gonna play some one on one.
Brilliant, brilliant. That's a deal. That's a deal.
But now to go back to something you had just previously said, I remember when I was in film school, and you know, everybody thought it was just you picking up a camera. When they realized that it was work, they was like, "Oh, so many people dropped that class and everything." So it's just basically like you were saying, like, would you still do it even if you wasn't getting no money and everything? I was like, yes. You know, make sure I always tell people, make sure it's your passion, whatever you want to do, whether you get paid or not, because you know God will make a way for the money to come. Period.
That's it. Lacey, can I ask you, what was your first movie, and you know, how did you feel when you did your first short or
Okay. Oh
whatever it
yes,
was?
yes.
How did you feel?
It felt great. So my first film, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. So
Yeah.
I do music also. I've done music all my life. So I was in film school, and you know, I always do storytelling in my music. And the next day I had to go to class, and we had to write a script. And I was lacking. I ain't had no script, so I was like, "Oh man!" So I took one of my songs that I did. What it was a story. It's called Right Hand Man. It was about a guy thinking his girlfriend was cheating on him, but his friends was really planning him a surprise birthday party, you know. So,
Uh,
but yeah, he killed his girlfriend and everything, and then at the end they was like, surprise. So yeah,
surprise!
so I took that, but it felt good, you know, just like controlling the audience, you know, making them like
Yes.
gas, laugh, cry, you know, like that control, and that felt so great to me, and just the cheers afterwards. So it felt so amazing to me. So
Oh,
so I definitely loved it. And then my second film, it was a short. It was about bullying, and instead of getting the main actor, I got to act somebody who's actually getting bullied, and I made them the main actor to show them that they can do anything they put their mind to, and that changed their life. And today they're doing amazing college, everything.
oh,
So yeah,
wow.
so those are
That
like my films. I try to do films with substance and you know, real people.
that is, and that's beautiful. I think, you know, when we was talking about your directing style, I love people to bring their own interpretation of the character. And like for Honorable Sins, we had a group of people, and I got everybody to read the different parts, and then when I heard them read it, then I went back and changed
Mhm,
it, and
mhm,
then because they created that character, so
mhm.
it was written then for them.
I
So
love.
that's yeah, so it's as real as it can be. And somebody gave me a big compliment. They said, "I feel Honorable Sins looks like a documentary,"
Mhm.
and I said, "Brilliant! There's nothing better than that."
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. Looks like they're not acting.
Good,
Cool,
good.
you know.
Like good.
Listen. But
And then
yeah,
go ahead.
no, I was going to say, so you're a musician and
Mhm,
you're a filmmaker. I feel like for myself, I'm also a musician and I
mhm.
love film. And do you not feel that sometimes film is like an extended music video?
Yes, definitely,
I
definitely.
do. I do.
Yes. See, we here, we right here.
I know. I know. I know. We're there. We're there.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. What I was gonna say? I was gonna say. Oh yeah, yeah. I was gonna say even when I like hold my casting calls, sometimes like I have a script for the people coming in and read, but sometimes I feel like they're focusing on the script, so I always have them improv with somebody else that they don't know, so I can really see their acting skills. On,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
stuff. So I love doing that too.
I
So
think,
go ahead.
yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. And I think when you're working with actors, you kind of get to know. And also, do you feel that you have like a little bit of a toolbox of, this is this type of actor, so I'll
Yeah,
approach it this way. And
yes,
this, yeah, I feel
definitely.
the same.
You
Yeah.
want to always make. I always tell people too. You always want to make sure like your actors are real because you want people to always feel your films are real. You don't want them to feel like I'm watching a movie because if you do, then you done messed up. You know what I'm saying? You want them.
That's true. Yeah, you mess
Yeah,
up if it looks too contrived, if you like, and
yes,
too contrived. But yeah, being looking, like a documentary, you're looking with real people, and that's one of the things. Like with martial arts, I love working with martial artists because the fight actions look like, oh well, yeah, if it was martial art, they would do that
mm,
because they would actually do that. So.
gotcha. You like Michael J. White?
Yes, I do. I met him. I met
Oh,
him.
for real?
Yeah. Yeah. I was listening to an interview of his. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember I was nodding on that. I'm like, yeah, go, Michael J. Go, Michael. I really like what he was saying. He was talking about learning the business
Mhm,
side of the whole thing. And I've seen him, and I heard him also in an interview saying that. And of course, who wasn't? One of my friends
mhm.
from Hotlanta, Chelsea. Yeah, yeah. Oh. One of my best friends was all that she wanted to talk about was Michael J. White, Michael J. White. But what about Michael J. White? But and I was like, okay. At the end of it, I was like, okay, I can't talk this conversation anymore. She was just crazy, as everybody was, at some stage. But always, I admire obviously his skills. Just
Yeah.
I'm admiring any martial artist who've achieved that level of, success.
Yes, gotcha. So let me ask you on the flip side, what would you say has been your greatest accomplishment?
Film wise, if you say to film wise, I would say, um, I don't know. I kind of find that's a little bit, I would say to carry on going. Despite I didn't like that, or whatever, being slammed, being people like nitpicking your
Yeah,
work or
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
to keep on going because then again you get people and they're like, oh my gosh, who did the edit? Oh, you edited that? Oh, that was amazing. And you
Mhm.
think, oh, thank you. And it kind of makes up for it. But as I said, especially in these last couple of years, it's having the belief system to keep going and keep persevering is probably an ongoing challenge, which, I'm glad that I didn't give up because, as I said, we just received some funding for our project and, for this studio project. So as I said, it could have been like, I can't see this
I
working
know,
out.
right?
Yeah. So you're like, I don't know. But yeah, so that I think just being able to carry on and just I don't know. And I love working at Coronation Street. That's definitely an achievement for me because I grew up watching. You're supposed to be professional, and then imagine all the people you saw as a kid. Because we used to watch Corrie. Mum and I used to watch Corrie. Like, I mean, I still watch it occasionally when I have time, but we used to. I mean, we grew up on it. It's something we just grew up on. And then sometimes I forget myself. I'm there waiting to, be taken to set, and then I'll see one of the actors, and I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, control yourself, and I just was like, I'm like, I just smile, and I'm like, oh, I grew up watching this person, so that is obviously an accomplishment for me. And then the last one is music wise, but Honorable Sins is a modern day Western,
Okay.
and I had to write about 8 Western, um, country songs.
Mm.
Well, I don't know if it's not a country type of artist, but
Yes.
I discovered I love Westerns and I've
Yeah.
seen all the best Westerns and I love it. And I grew up off Westerns as well.
See,
So that was an accomplishment, writing a country song.
see,
Okay, eight
I
of
just
them.
I just made me a country song like last year, so I fit.
I want to hear it. I want to.
Look, I'm gonna send you some of your music. You send me some of yours.
I will. I really, honestly, I'd love to hear it because, yeah, I think one of the things that I've been reading about is somebody was saying there's been quite a few Black artists doing country, and it obviously is historically, how it is, Black music historically, but then it's just kind of like smooth jazz to me. It
Yes.
was, it's been transitions, and I mean, music is for all people,
Right.
black, white, pink, purple, it doesn't matter.
Facts.
But I think, yeah, when they say, "Oh, somebody, a Black artist is doing," but I'm like, but yeah, it's kind of normal, really. But because we forget that our roots and our history.
Facts.
Not we forget, but sometimes
Yeah, I
in
got you.
media forgets, and
Mhm.
then it's like a big surprise. And so I'm loving. I can't wait
Oh,
to.
yeah.
Maybe we can get your song in one of our
There you go.
movies.
And look, it's
Yeah.
and I did it was creatively too. So it's kind of like about police brutality, but it's a country song. So
That's
you gonna see what I
fine.
did to it.
Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Okay, so let me ask you this: how did you feel when you got the Lifetime Achievement Award from Barack Obama?
Well, I was a bit antisocial because I had no idea. We'd gone down to LA, and I was at the event, and I was there to kind of cheer everybody else, and it wasn't, and just do some workshops. It wasn't me, And then it was like, oh, and then I heard my name. I'm like, have they got something messed up? Because I'm like, I'm not here for an award. I would have. So anyway, when they said it, I was like, what? And then and I was just like, I can't react like I don't like. I'm thinking, oh, is it a mistake? So I thought I was just like, oh, thank you so much. And then afterwards, I'm like, I was looking, I was like, what? I no, it was a shocker. And funnily enough, a lady said to me, I was talking to her, and I said, yeah, I said, this is what this award for. She's like, no. I'm like, I know. And she's like, why don't you tell everybody? I said, well, I always a bit afraid in case somebody's like, well, I voted, I did not Labour Conservative, or I do, so I was always a bit kind of, should I mention it? Because, it's the different, Republican, Democrat, and I was always like, sometimes the message is missed, and it's just about who the person is. And I'm like, and the lady in the UK said, well, you can forget that everybody was worried about in the UK, so you need to go with that. So I'm like, okay then. yeah, I was, believe it or not. So I think there's so many things that we're always apprehensive about. Oh, well, should I, would I,
Yes.
I don't know. Got to get over myself, right?
Promote that. Forget all the other people.
Yeah, forget them all. Yeah, exactly.
So, do you have anything else coming up that you would like to promote?
Well, yeah, just filmed it and Infraction Media. We're asking everyone, please support independent, truly independent productions. So any companies like ourselves, try to support them, rent their movies, purchase their movies, share anything you can, because basically that's our lifeblood, and we are not really kind of, we're not funded by the big guys, but we can tell truly authentic stories without any, without any tampering with the storyline. So yeah, we are on filmtit.com and also infractionmedia.com. So obviously you can go there for our movies. Yeah, and other than that, I would say, yeah, just look out for us. Share, some of our socials when we post. I would say when, but yeah, no, but that's kind of about it. That's our our sites, Infraction Media and Film D Hit. Somebody said it's called Film D Hit, and somebody said it's Filmed Hit. So whatever.
So whichever one
Whatever.
you do. So let me ask you this, Susan. What advice would you give to anyone trying to break into the the film industry or the entertainment industry? Period.
I would say do whatever you're passionate about. Please go do it. It doesn't matter about oh, I need to make this amount of money. If you do need to make this amount of money and you think, I don't know if I can do it, through filming immediately. Just work slowly, work your way up. And every time you do one project, it's a step in the right direction to where you're going. But if you truly love what you're doing, and I really want to emphasize this, please, please do your projects. And one thing I want to add is if you have an amazing script, please try to film it.
Facts.
Please get with, groups. We need to work together. We need to work cooperatively. Work with a production company. Just say, look, you don't have any money for this project. We don't have any money for that project. We'll just do it anyway. Just at least get something down. The reason I say that is because it's happened to myself. It's happened to friends, and it's happened to friends of friends. If you've got a killer script and you start handing it out, that script will come out in another name, another movie. You will read about your movie. Oh yeah, your movie is going to come out. Just you're not attached to it. So if you have a killer script, please get it down. Please get it down. And that's why we don't talk about anything. And that's why even the actors don't even get full scripts. They get it at the end. But what I'm saying, please, anybody who's watching this who's a filmmaker or a potential filmmaker or established, just work in groups, do whatever you can to get your project in reality. Because then it's harder for somebody to rip off your stuff if it's already there. It's on, even you've got little ideas of trailers. If you're a scriptwriter, send off your script, but don't put the killer punchlines in there. Hold back. Make it good, but hold it back. Because the thing is, if somebody takes your idea, you'll know. But if you've got your killer punchlines, nobody can take it. And that's something I've always done. I've always kept back, what my real punchline is. So I'll say, this is what it's about, but I'm quite vague. I'm like, it's quite vague. Here's a couple of movies I've done before, but it's quite vague. And I say that it's just really protecting your IP. And again, like when we were talking to Channel 4, it's really about ensuring that, Black independent production companies keep your IP. And that goes with scriptwriters, that goes with directors. Just keep a hold of your IP and do everything you can to work with other people to get your project out, because we need more authentic voices, not less.
Yeah, I hear that. Look, Susie she dropped some jewels on
Yes.
The truth will set you free now.
Absolutely.
So Susie, let the people know how they can reach you if they need to get in contact with you.
Sure. I'm available on social media. Basically, you can Google me, Suza Singh. That's on my IMDb. You can go to our website. So it's FILMDHIT, filmdhit.com, and infractionmedia.com. So reach out to us. We're happy. As I said, we're in the UK, like we're concentrating here at the moment. So especially if this goes out to people in the UK, we'd love to hear from you. We can't always guarantee we can take projects on, but we can definitely listen. And I always say, if somebody reads the script, I'll read the first 10 pages, always. I will always do that. And then for people in the US, would love to reach out. As I said, we're looking here in the UK, we are looking to network with companies in the US, especially one of our members talks a lot about Black Hollywood. He talks about Black Hollywood because you guys have something I think is kind of beginning to grow, I would say, in the UK, but you're such a strong industry. And it's admirable from a lot of us. We look to you guys in a lot of things, and so we are always looking to, work with companies. And I said, anybody out there who wants a really cool basketball playing action director in the States, hit me up.
Gotcha. So my last question that I love to ask all my guests.
Alrighty.
When it is all said and done and you are long gone from this earth, what is it that you want the people to know about Suza?
I'd like, a couple of people have said, oh, you've changed my life just with your help, positivity, etc. And I've always wanted people to help me. So I always love to help people. And I feel good when I can do something to help somebody. So I would just like to say that I left the place a little bit better than when I landed in it.
I like that. Drop the mic.
Boom. Boom.
Well, thank you, Miss Susan. I appreciate
Pleasure.
learning about you. This was a great interview. I would
Thank you.
definitely let you know when I write this article, because I'm gonna put this in the newspaper. So I'm gonna write the article and send you the video interview when it's out.
I love it. I love it. And please send me your music because
I
I'd
am.
love, yes.
Yes,
Love it.
I'm gonna see you my music and some of my short films
Brilliant.
too, so you can check.
Yes. And your availability dates.
I got you.
When we get funded.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
Miss
thank
Susan,
you.
you have a good day, and I will speak with you
Oh,
later.
all right. Take care.
All right,
See
bye
you.
bye.
Bye.